All right, good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2015 Bauer Elementary D.A.R.E graduation. I'd like to start off by thanking the Miamisburg City Schools, the City of Miamisburg, and the Miamisburg Police Department for their support of the D.A.R.E program, because without it, today wouldn't be possible. I'd like to thank all the parents and relatives who have joined us today. I had a great time working with your kids this year. You should be very proud of them, because I am. I'd also like to thank the fourth graders that are here today, and I look forward to seeing you next year in fifth grade D.A.R.E. A few things we talked about this year in D.A.R.E class. We talked about the dangers of alcohol and tobacco. We talked about good decision-making skills and how to resist peer pressure. We talked about bullying, and we talked about how to be safe with over-the-counter and prescription drugs. All of them did a great job. We had 10 weeks of classes. We completed a workbook, and they all worked very hard and even had some homework. The goal, though, is for you guys to use that information we talked about this year, especially as you guys go into the middle school and high school and you encounter some of those situations we talked about. Now I'd like to introduce our guests today. We have quite a few that I'd like to recognize your accomplishments. From the City of Miamisburg, we have the Mayor, Dick Church. Also from the City of Miamisburg, we have Councilmember Charlie Case. From the Miamisburg City Schools, we have Dr. David Vail, the superintendent. From the Miamisburg Municipal Courts, we have the Chief Probation Officer, Chantel Jennings. From the Miamisburg Police Department, we have Captain Tom Thompson. And of course, you all know your principal, Mrs. Sunderman. And Mayor Church would like to say a few words too.
Got to be careful we don't trip on all these wires up here. 21 years we've been doing this program, D.A.R.E, in the Miamisburg City School System. And as I say each year, it's one of the best programs that we do in conjunction with the Miamisburg Board of Education. 21 years of outlining to you, the students, the importance against cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, and I just hope that you're going to be able to take that with you. I do want to acknowledge on the camera back here today from the Miami Valley Communications Council, Joe McKenzie. He is taping this. You will be able to watch this D.A.R.E graduation many, many times between now and the next D.A.R.E graduation here at Bauer School. Getting back to what I said earlier, you know, we keep throwing obstacles at our young people. Right now we have, as Judge Reddick, if he was here, would tell you, we have an epidemic with heroin now. There may be another drug on the fall ballot, marijuana. We keep throwing these drugs at you. We spend a lot of money to teach you the evils of these drugs, and then we try to put them on the ballot to make them legal. I hope it doesn't pass. I hope it doesn't even make the ballot, but if it does, I hope our citizens will vote that down. It doesn't cover medicinal marijuana for those people that need it. That can be done by the state legislature just by passing of a bill and taking care of that end of it. So let's hope common sense prevails. And talking about common sense, all the lessons that you have learned these past 10 weeks, I can guarantee you that sometime in your life, maybe today, it might be tomorrow, this summer, or it might be years from now, someone is going to approach you and try to get you to do something that you know is wrong. And I hope when, and if that ever does happen, that you will remember the lessons that you learned in D.A.R.E. And if you say no, you're going to have a great rest of your life. Have a great summer vacation. Thank you.
Next, we have Captain Thompson.
You guys are the first school that we now have a podium to work behind or talk behind. So it's very official. So you guys are big time. The mayor said 21 years D.A.R.E.'s been in Miamisburg schools, and I was actually working with the police department when D.A.R.E. first started. I know I don't look that old, but I was. And as a matter of fact, I think Officer Doug was a student in D.A.R.E. when that happened. I think he was like 8 years old. Now, who believes that could be true? Or who thinks he might look a little too old? Yeah, he's a little too old. Well, you guys are very fortunate to have Officer Doug teaching you guys. He's a very, very good policeman. He cares an awful lot about each and every one of you guys. A lot of preparation goes into what he does in working to make sure that you guys learn what you need to learn in order to help enhance your lives. And parents, I do a lot of talking with Officer Doug, and he spends a lot of time making sure that he does the right thing for these kids, and he interacts with them very well. We get nothing but compliments, and we actually miss him working on the street. He's a great police officer. He treats people right, does the right thing, great investigator. Regardless of what happened in your classes, if he was very smart, he is. He's extremely smart. He's a very smart guy, so he does a good job. I don't know if you guys watched the news last night, but if you did, you would have seen a picture of Officer Doug standing, did you guys see him on the news, standing next to a bank robber that just got caught? And that was like before another D.A.R.E. thing, so he's multi-talented. So, but you guys are very fortunate, and as much as you appreciate him, I know he feels the same about you. Now, you guys did a lot of talking about drugs and bullying, and the mayor spoke to you about drugs for a few minutes. So I'll talk to you about bullying real quick. One of the most important things in life when you get older is not, some people think it's how much money you make and stepping on other people to get ahead or forcing your will on other people. But one of the most important things in life is to treat other people right. Matter of fact, that's pretty close to number one. And because, you are very, very special. You're a very, very important person. You're a very important person. You're a very important person. All of you guys are equally as important in life. You guys have big, big things that you can accomplish. So it's very important that you treat each other with that same respect and you don't bully. Now, you guys know that you shouldn't walk up and punch somebody in the mouth, right? That's pretty obvious bullying. Knock them around, steal their lunch money, give them a wedgie or whatever the things are nowadays. So you guys know that that's pretty straightforward. But also how you talk to people and how you treat people verbally is also important, because sometimes people say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. You guys hear that before? But I can remember at your age things that people said to me that still bothers me, that still gets under my skin if I sit and think about it. So it's very important now that not only are you not physically bullying people, but you're verbally treating people with respect. And remember that what you say to somebody else can hurt them or can affect them. And you guys are all so important, and so important because you guys are going to replace us someday in society, that you need to treat each other right. So congratulations. You guys did a fantastic job. Officer Doug's spoken very highly of you, and I'll look forward to shaking your hand in a few. So congratulations, guys.
Next, we have Chantel Jennings.
Good morning. Congratulations to all the fifth graders. Great work. Thank you to Officer Doug for all the hard work he puts in this program, the police department that supports it, all of council and the schools. It's a great program to have. What I'm going to talk to you a little bit about is peer pressure. You're going to face a lot of challenges in the next few years, as has been mentioned. I deal with a lot of people that have faced those challenges and not made the right decision. You may come across some kids who are smoking. They may ask you to smoke, and you may say no. They may make fun of you. It's important that you stick with what you've learned from Officer Doug. You say no and you move on. It's sometimes not the popular decision to make the right decision. You have to be willing to use the tools that Officer Doug has taught you to make the decision that's best for you so that you can have a very successful life. Judge Robert W. Reddick III wanted me to extend his congratulations. He was unable to be here today because he's in court, but he wanted me to tell you all how excited he is for you and to have a great summer. Thank you.
And Dr. Vea.
Good morning. It's certainly an honor for me to be here to be a part of the program and represent the Miamisburg City School District. On behalf of the school board, the rest of the administration, and the entire school community, we want to congratulate you on your graduation from this program. It's certainly an important step in your life. You know, as growing up, you've had lots of teachers. Before you came to school, your parents were your teachers and will continue to be your teachers. They taught you right from wrong and many of those things. Your teachers now in school teach you those things in which they're experts: math, science, social studies. Now we have Officer Sherritt's here to teach you one more thing, D.A.R.E, your drug education, and how to make those decisions. And we hope that as you go on, summer, 6th grade, middle school, high school, and on in your life, that you'll remember to make those choices, those correct choices, and think about what you've learned in order to help you make those decisions. We talked about peer pressure a little bit, but you also have peer support. As your parents support you and your teachers continue to support you, your friends are here to support you as well. So if you ever have a moment of, you might be thinking about something, call a friend. Say, hey, what did we talk about in D.A.R.E? What can we do, and get that support going and help each other out and make sure that you're making the right decisions throughout. So again, congratulations on your graduation from D.A.R.E. Have a great summer. Good luck in middle school. Take care.
The last thing the students do in D.A.R.E. class is they write a D.A.R.E. report, and then they get up in front of the class and they read their D.A.R.E. reports. So everyone you see with the D.A.R.E. shirt on today accomplished that task. And that's quite a task because at the end of the year they have a lot going on. So I'm very proud of all of them for completing that. We did select a few to be shared with you today, and we're going to begin with Brian DeVan.
That's so short. Hello, my name is Brian DeVan, and I will be talking to you about what I have learned in D.A.R.E. Also, I will be talking about bullying, the effects of drugs, and stress. Bullying is one of the main concerns at Bauer Elementary. Kids can bully many ways. For example, cyberbullying, physical bullying, and word bullying. Cyberbullying is when you use a device and say mean things on the internet. Physical bullying is when you punch or use your body to hurt someone. Lastly, word bullying is when you use your mouth and say mean words or say bad things about them. Next, I will be talking about the effects of drugs. A drug is a bad substance that can give you cancer or possibly lead to death. Drugs can also make you lose control of yourself. Also, whenever you are around a group or a gang that uses drugs, try to stay away from them, or they might try to ask you if you want some drugs. If they do ask, though, just say no and give a good reason or just the reason. Last but not least, I will be talking to you about stress. Stress is when you can't concentrate on what it is you are doing, or you think that you can't finish something. For example, you are stressing on a test and you are thinking, will I be able to finish the test? What you could do is ask the teacher if you can use the bathroom, get a drink, and take a walk in the hallway. I hope you enjoyed me talking about what I have learned in D.A.R.E. class, and I also want to hear what you have learned. In the future, when I get older, I will change myself by not using drugs and never do illegal things. That is just one of the things I have learned. Thank you for listening to me talking about D.A.R.E. And special thanks to Officer Doug.
Next, we have Michael Godagno.
Hey, you. Have you ever been offered to smoke underage, drink underage, or has anyone offered you drugs? Then you should be in D.A.R.E. D.A.R.E is a very good program that could help you if you are bullied at your school. D.A.R.E also teaches you how to ignore or stand up to bullies when they are bullying you or another classmate. D.A.R.E also teaches you the 5 W's. The 5 W's are who, what, when, where, and why. So, who was it? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And why did it happen? Those are the 5 W's, and you use the 5 W's when someone or you are getting bullied. D.A.R.E taught me about the negative effects of drugs, alcohol, and smoking. Drugs can cause heart disease, slow reflexes, poor judgment, and memory loss. Alcohol has similar effects and can deteriorate parts of your body, such as your liver. Those are the effects of drugs, alcohol, and smoking. D.A.R.E has taught me to stand up to bullies, say no in peer pressure situations, and the negative effects of drugs and alcohol and smoking.
Next, we have Shivanshi Tandem.
Have you ever been in a situation you didn't know what to do? In this essay, I will write about bullying, communicating, and drug abuse. In D.A.R.E, Drug Abuse, Resistance, and Education, we learned how to react to these situations. First off is bullying. Officer Sherritt taught us how to safely report bullying by the 5 W's. Who was being bullied, what happened, when, where, and why did it happen? The 5 W's can give enough information to a trusted adult, which would help stop the bullying. A person can do this by being anonymous or without being known. Also, I learned that a bystander is someone who witnesses the bullying and has the opportunity to help. Furthermore is communication, another topic I learned about. If you communicate effectively and confidently, you will be able to handle peer pressure with courage. Also, I learned to get a person to listen to you, it's important to listen to them. Lastly, the most important topic I learned was about drug abuse. I learned that there are many health effects of alcohol use which can lead to coma or death. Also, there are many health effects of tobacco use too. Heart disease, lung cancer, and more colds are just a few. Did you know more than 400,000 Americans die from tobacco-related causes each year? I also learned that I should avoid drugs such as nicotine, alcohol, cigarettes, etc. Did you know there are 75,000 alcohol-related deaths a year? I will use all what Officer Sherritt and what the D.A.R.E Lion taught me in the future and always say no to drugs. Bullying will not be on my list, and I will communicate confidently and effectively.
Next, we have Emma Schwabe.
Has someone ever asked you to smoke or drink? What about drugs? Have you ever done that? If so, I hope you said no, because if you have used any of those substances, you are going to have trouble later in life. Have you ever been bullied or seen someone get bullied? Well, the 5 W's can help you. The 5 W's are who, what, when, where, and why. Who did it? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And why did it happen? How would you respond to bullying? I think the best thing to do is to tell an adult. When you tell, you are trying to stop the bullying. You can also say stop. What would you do if you saw someone getting bullied? I think you should help that person or get an adult. Do you know the effects of drugs? Well, one effect is that tobacco can cause mouth cancer. Tobacco is illegal until the age of 18, but it can still have negative effects at all ages. Alcohol can slow down the brain. Alcohol is a type of depressant that can affect the brain when you have too much of it. How would you respond to peer pressure? If someone asks you to smoke, how would you respond? You should always say no. You may feel a sense of stress in a peer pressure situation, such as sweaty palms and nervousness, but you should always have the confidence to say no. So I hope you know to say no to drugs and help yourself or others being bullied. I pledge to never do drugs and follow D.A.R.E rules.
Next, we have Sophie Lockwood.
Have you ever heard of D.A.R.E? D.A.R.E is a program where police officers teach you about bullying, drug abuse, communication, and many other topics. Personally, I think I've learned many important things over the course of the year from D.A.R.E. One of the biggest topics we covered in D.A.R.E was drugs and alcohol. With alcohol, we learned that there are over 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year in America, and that it is illegal for anyone who is under the age of 21. With tobacco, we learned that over 400,000 people die from tobacco in America each year, and you must be 18 or older to legally possess tobacco. As well as learning the health effects of using alcohol and tobacco, we learned some ways to avoid them. Some of those ways are to say no and give a reason as to why you don't want to, or just to avoid the situation altogether. Another large topic we covered was communication. We learned that there are 3 types of communication. First, there is confident, which is when you say your opinion, but are still respectful of others. Next, there is unsure, which is when you are unwilling to stand up for yourself. And last, there is demanding, which is when you are hostile and have no regard for others' feelings. The best kind of communication to use is confident. We talked about the D.A.R.E decision-making model, which uses the steps to define, assess, respond, and evaluate to make good choices and to do the right thing. The last topic that we had was bullying. To teach us how to safely report bullying, we received a paper with 5 W's. The W stood for who, what, when, where, and why. Our officer taught us to tell any responsible adult, like a teacher, bus driver, or counselor. He also taught us that if we need to report bullying but want to remain anonymous, we can call our school's help network. D.A.R.E has been a very helpful class for me this year, and I plan to take what I've learned with me for the rest of my life.
And Aaron Gillespie.
Hi, I'm Aaron Gillespie. Has anyone ever asked you, hey, do you want to drink alcohol? Or, hi, I've got some cigarettes. Want to smoke? If so, I hope you said no. If no one has asked you any of these questions, maybe you've said mean things about someone or spread rumors. If so, that is bullying. Bullying and abusing alcohol and tobacco are things D.A.R.E tells you not to do and I strongly suggest against. So let me share my knowledge with you that I've acquired from D.A.R.E about bullying, alcohol, and tobacco as well as their effects. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is bullying. Bullying is a problem that needs to be stopped. One thing associated with bullying is peer pressure. Peer pressure is just what it says. It's when a peer pressures you. Peer pressure can cause lots of stress. Stress is something that can happen to anyone who's being bullied. Signs of stress are getting red, becoming angry, and tensing up. Lastly, if you see someone being bullied and you're going to tell an adult, make sure you tell the adult the 5 W's. The 5 W's are who, what, where, when, and why. If you tell an adult who is being bullied, what happened, where the bullying happened, when the bullying happened, and why it happened, it can make it easier for an adult to assess the problem. I hope you've learned a lot about bullying. Alcohol is another big problem. Drinking and possessing alcohol is illegal for anyone under the age of 21. It's important to never get over-intoxicated because there are many effects of alcohol misuse. A few effects are slow reflexes, poor judgment, memory loss, as well as the loss of self-control and judgment. This is the cause for over 75,000 alcohol-related deaths per year. This is why it's important to never abuse alcohol. Lastly, I need to tell you about tobacco as well as their effects. Smoking and chewing tobacco is illegal for anyone under the age of 18. Also, tobacco can give you bad breath and yellow teeth. Dentists must hate tobacco. Cigarettes contain nicotine. Nicotine is a very addictive substance. That is a good reason to never try smoking, because once you try it, you may get hooked. So all of you kids at home, never try smoking. Sadly, my report is coming to an end. I hope you've learned a lot about these subjects. The D.A.R.E program and officer sheriffs have taught me a lot from how to say no to drugs to helping stop bullying. So think, do you want to be one of 75,000 people dead of alcohol misuse? Also think, would you like to become a victim of bullying? So if somebody asks you if you want to drink alcohol or smoke a cigarette, I hope I've taught you to say no.
All of you did a really good job on your reports, and those 6 are just a great example of that. The last group of people I'd like to thank are the ones that make my job as a D.A.R.E officer very easy, and that's the staff here at Bauer. And that begins with your principal, Mrs. Sunderman. And your 5th grade teachers, Mrs. Kramer, Mrs. Scarpino, and Mrs. Miller. And now it's time for you to receive your certificates, and we will begin with Mrs. Kramer's class.
For Ms. Kramer's class, we have Eli Baker, Sabrina Barraclaw, Ari Cockerham, Anthony Kopic, Davon Eccles, Caden Green, Michael Guadagno, Addison Hickcock, Darian Hurst, Dakota Jackson, Sarah Kavadaki, Abby Layton, Logan Miller, Caitlin Niswanger, Darshan Prekumar. I'll never get that right. Rochelle Rogers. He looked right at me too, he knew. Emma Schwabe. Dorian Scott. Brooklyn Underhill. And Marissa Wright.
Next, we have Miss Scarpino's class.
Okay, congratulations. First, we have Zach Annis, Olivia Balsamo, Haneen Bayoud, Oscar Chen, Shaker Donna Shaker, Sierra Donthanier, Emily Jean Gibson, Aaron Gillespie, Luke Gillespie, Abdul Hamden, Rachel Cole Morgan, Sophia Large, Joseph Linger, Sophie Lockwood, Mason McElroy. Hannah Pope. Damian Priest. Michael Spangler. Ivan Takis. Kiwan White. Trinity Zapp. And Angela Courts.
And Mrs. Miller's class.
Congratulations to all of you. Ama Aqua Harrison. Tarina Boyd. Dominic DeBrill. Brian DeBan. Aaron Glukert. Brody Green. Cameron Hohenbrink. Brooke Husted. Elena Isaacs. Alex Kapp. Ava Colodi. Joseph Lipscomb. Kenny Michaelastis. Alex Wynn. Aaron Schmidt. Donovan Scott. Christy Shin. Shivanshi Tandon. Kristen Whiting. And Vance Willis.
Let's give all our graduates one more round of applause. Great job. The last thing we'll do as part of our graduation ceremony is I have a short little video of D.A.R.E classes here at Bauer.
We have one more little piece of business to take care of before we send you on your way today. The PTA and fifth graders at Bauer Elementary have a small token of appreciation for Officer Doug. We know all the hard work and effort that you put into planning the D.A.R.E program for our students, and we are very thankful for what you do. So please accept our token of appreciation.
Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this morning. I had a great year this year at Bauer. Have a safe summer and be safe. Thank you.